Coach Ledford. Michael McCammon from Cardinal Authority here. There's been a lot of talk from Coach Satterfield about how it was a difficult, obviously, week against Pittsburgh last week. How have the guys in that room, the offensive line room, responded after such a difficult game and watching such difficult film to review?
I think they took it very personal. I think we had a very spirited week of practice, and but I think the guys, anytime you have those type of numbers and have that type of performance, if it doesn't affect you, then we got the wrong guys in that room. I think it affected every one of them, even the guys that didn't play. And so I really like the way the guys came out and practiced all week during our bye week. Hopefully we can continue that with our preparations going forward with Georgia Tech now.
Dwayne, Scott was talking about Malik and how he was, felt a lot better right now. How have you seen him kind of progress in the week, since the injury and his spirit last week when he was back out there for you guys on offense?
I thought it was great. He came up, gave me a slap on the back, and just smiling the other day of practice, and just his interactions with all the guys on offense. It's always great to be around because they have a great relationship with one another, and obviously they're happy to see him and just to be around him. And just saw him in the hallway on the way down here to do this press conference, and you see that big smile, man, which is always good to see.
Dwayne Cameron with the Courier Journal. Now, the offensive line had played well. You guys talk about Western game and Miami game. On film of that Pittsburgh game, what did you see that may have went wrong? Because Satterfield said there were times you're doing the same thing against Miami, you just didn't execute as well as you did against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's I talked about that to the guys. The things that we practice. I mean, I call it we didn't hit our layups. We didn't execute, and for whatever reason that may have been, but that's something that cannot. You got to stay consistent. That's something where you can't go into a game and don't execute. And you watch the Miami game with Pitt. A lot of some of the same things they were doing defensively and that we did a good job of against Miami, but for Pitt, for whatever reason it was, we did a poor job of at times. And the guys, like I said, we had a really long and I think a very productive film session with that. Got to spend a lot of time on it. Got to spend a lot of time on the corrections from the Pitt game before we move forward and focusing it on Georgia Tech. And I thought it was good to be able to have that week to really reflect on that. And we did that a lot in our room. I know that for sure. And, and it's something that I really do like how the guys approached it with practice. And I thought they had a good week last week.
A quick follow-up to that. When you're in a bye week like this, how much time do you spend reviewing that Pitt film or moving forward and kind of looking at, just because of the way it went, or moving forward to prepare for Georgia Tech?
Well, for me, if something is giving you an issue or gave you an issue in a game, you better correct that, because a defense is just going to copy it. They're going to do it that next week. And until you show that you can do it and do it correctly, they're going to show you the exact same thing. And so you got to make, regardless of even if we were playing last week, we still would have spent a lot of time correcting some of the Pitt mistakes that we had. And so we've always been that way. And it's been good, because to me, you don't want something that happened that previous week continue to linger on throughout the whole season. And so I really enjoyed the bye week, because that was our week, was just focusing on a lot of the things that happened in that game, especially up front. And I really enjoyed it. We had some good spirited practices out there.
Dwayne Cameron again. You talked a lot about trying to add some depth there on the line. You mentioned guys like Clayton Sticks and Trevor Reed. How close do you feel like you are to getting those guys some consistent snaps on offense? Do you still think you're with your six for a little bit right now?
I still feel I'm with the 6 right now that we've been playing. Cam is adding a very valuable piece to us, being able to play multiple positions. And that's something that's this past week we were able to get a lot of those guys some meaningful reps in practice. Speaking of some of our backups and putting them in some roles. And, we're trying to work hard to continue to develop that and to add that depth. But right now going into this next week, it's still the 6 that we've been playing with.
Dwayne, this is Jody from Cardinal Authority again. How did you think last week? Coach Satterfield was talking about the young guys scrimmage. How are some of the guys that are the true freshmen coming along and advancing for you on the line?
I think, I looked at that. I thought Kobe Baines did some really good things, kind of stood out when those young guys were taking those reps at the end of practice against each other. You just saw him playing with a lot of excitement, a good demeanor about himself, finishing plays. And so he was somebody that stood out with it. Obviously, Trevor Reed, we put him in those situations as well. Thought he did a good job. He's just the more reps that he's going to be able to get, the better he's going to be able to come along. And so felt good about that, and so, but Kobe, I thought I felt really good about what you saw from him playing the guard position and just that type of demeanor and just how he was playing pretty fast. And so I was pretty impressed with that last week with him.
Again, when you look at film, and I asked Scott this as well, but Malik, over the course, especially last year, was always very, very careful, didn't really turn the ball over a lot. He struggled a little bit in that sense so far this year. Just what did you talk to him about as you try to kind of help him cut down on those the rest of the year?
The thing is, and I think it goes back to I think as you're put in some tough situations. On first down, if you take away that one 75-yard run that we had, if you take that out of it, we weren't very good on first down. And so with that being said, you're putting your quarterback in some really tough situations. So I think first and foremost, we just got to be more efficient on first and second down and put ourselves in more manageable third down situations. And really do a better job of that. But I thought in the Pitt game we were not good at all on first down, and that's something that we've got to be good at. Because to me, I think that when you're in some third and long situations and you're trying to make a play, that's tough. Now that's really hard on that quarterback. So to me, it's preventing that just about being better on first and second down, especially on first down.
Take a couple more if you've got them. All right, if everybody.
Dwayne, hey, it's Dwayne. Yeah, sorry, Stephen. Yeah, Dwayne, it's Jody again. Can you just give us a little bit on Georgia Tech, kind of the defense and what you see with those guys, especially on the front?
I think that they play hard. You see that they play with a lot of effort. They got some good length. Especially up front, and they got some good size on the inside as well. Number 6, their Mike linebacker, he's a guy that plays with a high motor. He's all over the field, going sideline to sideline. Both of their defensive ends, number 42 and number 32, both those guys do a solid job of trying to keep everything inside as far as trying to collapse the pocket from the outside in. I think those two guys on the inside, Griffin and Brooks, they're stout at the point of attack. And I think they're well coached, good size, and they can run. And, and to me, it's a defense when you turn it on. The thing to always try to look at when you watch a defense is, how well do they run to the football and how much effort are they playing with? And that's something I think you see from this group when you watch the film. And so they're playing very good defense from the effort standpoint of playing hard. And, it's going to be, it seems like this game is, you have a game like Pitt and you're working on the corrections and focusing a lot on some of the things that happened that game. But at the same time, kind of slowly introducing Georgia Tech. Seems like we've been on Georgia Tech for a long time. You kind of wish that you had a game this past weekend. But I think the guys are excited about going down to Atlanta and playing these guys. But it's a group that's got some good length and some good speed to it. And I think those guys play hard, really hard.
All right, one last one if you need it.
Yeah, Dwayne Cameron again. You guys, this is the first time you guys have had a losing streak here at Louisville. Obviously, you had, like you mentioned, you kind of almost wish you had a game in between, but you had the bye week. Do you see a higher sense of urgency from these guys to get this I don't want to say turned around, but to get back in the win column this week, or is it kind of just practice as normal for the guys?
No, I think the guys. I think that you had a sense on the plane ride back from Pitt. I think you kind of saw it in some of the guys, just their reactions, their faces, as far as like wanting to get back to work. They were wanting to watch film. I had a lot of guys come up to me, Coach, have you watched it yet? Just asking those questions. And I thought that throughout practice, you saw we had some really good spirited practices, a lot of good energy. They were physical, and the guys strained really hard. And so to me, the guys came out with the right mindset. That can never waver. The effort's always got to be there. And I thought the guys did a great job that last week of coming out and practicing hard, because you got to practice those looks full speed. And they did that as far as those corrections that we were trying to correct. And so I think the guys were very motivated all week last week. I think they felt the same way. They wish they had a game this past weekend. But today we got, normally we'd be playing this Friday. Today we have practice. So a lot of the guys were shooting me a text last night just asking if, what to look at. So I feel good about where the guys are as far as their preparation right now.
All right, Coach, we'll wrap up on that. Thanks, everybody, for the day.
Thank you.